Yeah, Fifth and Walnut at the facility over there.
Oh yeah, I hear they treat you well there.
They do a good job.
Are you still living on the streets?
Yeah, everybody asks me that. Yeah, I'm trying to get my shit together, but I don't really like to talk about why. Sometimes it's good to talk about it, I guess. When it all started, I was living life. I had a job. I was doing my thing. I was leasing a house, leasing a car. I had everything going. Everything was good. And then I got cancer. When I got cancer, they took me to the hospital. And I was in the hospital for almost 3 months. And after about the first month, they finally gave me an opportunity to, get out of the room and walk down to this little courtyard area. So one day I met this girl, and she was, I don't know. When I first met her, I just thought. So we would meet every day and talk, and we got to be friendly. And then one day the doctors came to me and said that they were going to let me go, but I needed full-time care. And since I live by myself, I didn't have any family out here, that I was going to have to go to some convalescent home or something like that. Most people think convalescent home is like an old person's place. And so I didn't want to go there, but I didn't really talk about it to her because, I don't want her to feel bad or obligated or anything like that. And then one day she came to me and said she talked to my doctor, and then the doctor told her that I was going to go to a convalescent home, and we argued back and forth. I didn't want her to do it, but she wanted to take care of me. And then the doctors came one day, and they were in my room, her doctor, my doctor, and her name's Rita. Rita said, "I'm going to take care of you. The doctor says it's okay." And so that's what we ended up doing. I went to her house, and as stuff happens like that, the way it goes. Do you have a cigarette?
No.
I shouldn't be smoking anyways. But so I was with Rita, and how stuff happens. You fall in love, and that's what we did. And so I was with her, and after about a year, we got married, and then one day she came to me and said that she was pregnant, and she was going to have our baby, and we were living life. I mean, she owned her own school when I met her, and she sold that school. It was a private school. She sold that school to take care of me for the first couple of years. Well, I got a job. I was making $3,000 a month, $3,000 a week, and everything was going really good. And I worked my way up to. I got this one gig that I was supposed to set up, and it was a fat commission on that, and above and beyond my wage. And so Rita came to me this one morning, and she said, "I'm spotting." And I didn't know what that meant, and because she was pregnant, she was spotting a little bit, how that happens. And so we called the doctor, and the doctor, he's like, "Oh, that happens sometimes, nothing to be concerned, but if it gets heavier or it keeps going over a period of time, then you got to call us back or come in or something like that." And so next morning, I said, "Rita, how are you doing? How is everything going?" And she was like, "It's still the same. I don't, I feel fine. You should go." And so, I had to take a train to this thing, a big event that I had, and I was meeting my boss there, and so I told her, I said, "Look, I'm gonna go, but as soon as I get there, I'm gonna call you and make sure that everything is okay." And so that was the deal. So I left. I took the train. I got there. As soon as I got there, I called her, and there's no answer on the phone. So I'm kind of freaking out. I'm like, why isn't she answering the phone? She's got to answer the phone so I know what's going on. So I kept trying. I did that for about an hour. Finally, I was like, to my boss, I said, "Look, I don't care what the commission is on this. You can have it all. I don't care what you do. I have to leave. Rita is bleeding, and I got to find out if she's okay." So I took the train back. I ran to the house. I knocked on the doors. I'd left my keys with her. And, we didn't expect she was going to go anywhere. And she wasn't there. And so I turned around. I was trying to figure out what to do. And I saw this cop driving by. So I said to the cop, I said, "Hey," I pulled him over. He was kind of acting like sketchy, but I was, I had to do what I had to do. So I said, "Look, my wife, we live here. This is my house, but I left the keys in there. Did you guys get a call for an ambulance or anything like that here?" And he goes, Yeah. It was about an hour ago. They came and they took somebody away. And he goes, "Do you know where they took him?" And he goes, "Well, I wasn't here on the call, but let me check it out." So he checks it out, and they took her to the hospital over on Broadlawn. And so I took a taxi, went over to Broadlawn, and I went upstairs, and this woman was a diamond for me. She She took care of me. So I ran to the hospital. I get inside and I asked where she's at, and so they told me up in this hallway and in this one room. And so I ran up. I took the elevator. I ran down the hallway, and I got to the room and nothing was there. And at the end of the hallway, I heard these people talking. So I went running in there, and it was her parents. And she died giving birth to my baby. And that's how I met her parents. That day, I had to introduce myself to people whose daughter just died giving birth to somebody's baby, and that's why I'm fucking homeless. That's how fucking fair